What's going on, everybody? It's Cheshire Guard back with another profile for the blackwing deck. This one got 60th place at a regionals. Started out really rocky and then ended up just winning out the rest of it. So yeah, the first couple of rounds were pretty rough. First round, I won the dice roll, opened a great hand, then found out I was playing going second Castira that opened up Lava Golem with uh, evenly matched and no, it was Lava Golem, Lightning Storm for back row, and full combo in hand. I'm just like, well, I'm dead. Just there's nothing you can really do about that. So, yeah, it started off rough, but ended up getting 60th place. Shout out to my friend Gage who got 5th place with his Wanderers deck. Um, yeah, it was a good tournament. I'm steadily getting higher and higher placing as I keep playing the deck and keep trying to make it more competitive. But this version's different than the last one I posted a week or two ago. What's happening with this one is that we're playing the Chaos Sphere or the Core of Chaos again in order to help get the Chaos Angel with both effects. So I'll go ahead and get into it. I'm going to speed through some of it. I'll give a brief run through of what each card does, especially the ones that weren't in the previous profile. But of course, we've got 3 copies of Simoon, best starter. It's really good. All you need to do is open it and any other blackwing, and you have pretty much full combo. Banish a blackwing out of your hand, places Black Whirlwind straight from the deck to the field. That's important because it plays around anti-spell fragrance, which came up, and then it normal summons itself, which doesn't count for your normal for turn. And of course, it'll trigger the Whirlwind, so you search the Sudri, and then the Sudri is going to add you any card that says Blackwing Dragon in its text, and usually and that'll also trigger the Whirlwind. So the one that's going to have less attack than him is going to be 3 copies of Vada, because Vada is really good. And when you summon Sudri, the one that has Blackwing Dragon in its text is going to be Shamal. So you go normal summon 1, gets the Whirlwind, summons itself, searches Sudri. You normal summon Sudri with your normal for turn, triggers the Whirlwind and itself. You can chain block him with the Whirlwind, which is the better idea. So chain link 1 Sudri, chain link 2 Whirlwind. Chain link 2 is going to search Vada. Chain link 1 is going to search Shamal. Shamal sends itself from hand to graveyard or field to graveyard, which comes up sometimes, in order to place Black Feather Whirlwind straight from deck to field. Again, that placing straight from deck to field played around anti-spell and really saved me in one match. I think it was against Labyrinth where they tried to anti-spell, but I opened Simoon and I opened Simoon and a Blackwing and didn't care about anti-spell. Yeah, you play Vada because Vada at 3 is very good. It Foolish Burial in order to synchro summon into Blackwing Dragon specifically. Somebody pointed out when I played it against him, like, so it's branded fusion to synchro, and I'm like, yes, that's exactly what's happening. I'm just gonna it is branded fusion, but I'm making Blackwing Dragon. And then Shamal, of course, getting you that extra one, and then having the grave effect for when I do summon that synchro monster, that I can banish it out the grave to add a Blackwing monster back to my hand and take 700, which the Blackwing Dragon's gonna absorb anyway. We also have 1 copy of Oster because I very much enjoy his abilities, especially with all the banishing going on in this deck. Like Shamal banish itself, and then you make Nathung, and you have an extra normal summon. And sometimes instead of going into Sudri, you want to summon Oster, bring back the Shamal. There's 2 level 4s for you to overlay. It really just opens up more plays by having this. And the general rule of thumb, shout out to Cali Effect. I learned this from him back when he was back when I heard one of his videos a long time ago. You really want to play 5 normal summons in the deck, no more than 5 most of the time. 5 cards that you just pretty much have to normal summon. You never really want to summon Shamal. It's always just going to discard itself to get the Black Feather Whirlwind. Simoon normal summons itself without using your normal for turn, so that doesn't count. Vada's going to special summon itself. So really your normal summons that you may have to normal summon are going to be 3 copies of Sudri, 1 copy of Oster, the 1 Zephyros. So the Oster's graveyard effect banishes itself out of grave to put black feather counters on a blackwing dragon you control equal to the number of monsters your opponent controls, which can just help you burn them and win in time. But also it can banish itself out of grave to put wedge counters on all your opponent's monsters, so full armor master can steal it. If you just go Oster, bring back Harmattan effect, target Oster, Harmattan's a 6 now. That's a 1 card full armor master, banish Oster out the grave and take one of your opponent's monsters. And then in phase blow them up. So yeah, very good. I like Oster. A lot of people don't play it anymore, but it's also a level 4 tuner that you actually want to summon, so you don't have to rely on getting Shamal out all the time. Just extra combos that are available to you. And then Zephyros, of course, with his grave effect to banish it, or to bring itself back, reset your Black Feather Whirlwind. Gale, just a very good extender. We play the Y-Strix, so sometimes you don't want to use your level 4s in order to make the Y-Strix, so Gale's a good option. Special summon the Gale. Sometimes you open great hands, or you like open Simoon, Sudri, and Vada, and you're like, well, there's not many things I need to search off of the Whirlwind or the Sudri, so searching Gale off Whirlwind comes up sometimes. And of course his effect to cut things in half is really good, especially with the ridiculously large monsters that you can make in this deck. Then of course the 1 Harmattan level modulating in this deck is very helpful for getting into your different kinds of synchros. This 2 mixed with the Oster becomes a synchro for 10. Him and Gale is a synchro for 8. Him and Vada is a synchro for 6. He's just very versatile. Also we have Chinook. He's basically an effect veiler, but he's only a quick effect if you control a synchro monster, so sometimes that can be a little annoying. I'm still trying to find ways to bump him up to 2, just because if you lose the dice roll but then open him, he's just an imperm, because you don't have to have it be a quick effect when on your turn. You don't always need it to be. But also we have the 1 Orochi. The Roshi, I keep it in here. A lot of people have dropped it, but I keep it in here because I go into the Hot Red Dragon Archfane. And then even in the Calamities build, you still want to have this. I don't know why some people have dropped it in the Kali Yuga build, because it still helps you with your level 6s to go into a 7. They keep trying to use Steamed and Steam's token with Boreas Storm to make your level 7s. But I'm like, you have a free summon level 1 to go with your 6s. There's no reason to not play him. Now we get into a few different cards of the deck. We have Samorg Bird of Perfection. This came in very clutch when I was trying to chain block. Yeah, when I was trying to chain block, so you go Simoon or Sudri, whatever's going to trigger the Whirlwind, and since this also triggers on normal summons, you can have this chain block the Simoon search. So, because if you only open Simoon and 1 other Blackwing, and they ash that search off of Simoon's summon for the Whirlwind, you're pretty much just dead in the water. So I don't like that. Like, you have to open other Blackwings in order to be able to keep playing. But if you only open Simoon and 1 Blackwing, then Ash on that first Whirlwind pretty much kills your turn. So having this to chain block the Whirlwind is very helpful. It also just gives you an extra body on board. It's also a level 4. It can be used for Small World. Then we have the Core of Chaos back in here. The Core of Chaos is a level 2 Light Thunder Tuner. It's got no attack points, so it still works with the Nocto Vision that I talked about in the last build for the small world bridges. But also, it can special summon itself from hand by banishing a dark monster out of your graveyard, and then for the rest of this turn, you can only synchro summon into light and dark monsters, which is not a problem. But also, if this card is special summoned, you can target one of your Shell of Chaoses and special summon it. And Shell of Chaos is, I think I have one right here. Shell of Chaos is something I'm planning on testing out when I make the Chaos version of this deck. So Core of Chaos special summons back your banished Shell of Chaos, and that's a free synchro 6. But Shell of Chaos is the same thing, but it's a dark monster with reversed attack and defense, and then it summons itself from hand by banishing a light monster out of your hand or graveyard. And then you can special summon this card, and if it's special summoned, you can target a banished Core of Chaos and special summon it. So they both kind of help bring each other back. But Shell of Chaos being a dark level 4, but being a machine, he can also help with being a small world bridge. So, yeah, I'm going to test out the Shell of Chaos, but for right now, the Core of Chaos was just very helpful because as a level 2, Core of Chaos and Blackwing Dragon makes Chaos Angel with both effects. And then, of course, you can just use it for making your level 6s when you need to. But I found it very helpful, especially for making the Chaos Angel with both effects. And then, of course, Ash Blossoms, Ghost Ogres, Droll. I might change the Droll to the side deck and main deck Effect Veiler, just because Droll's not as impactful as it was in the previous format. And then Nocto Vision Dragon, because small world bridge. So Nocto Vision has 0 attack points and nothing else in common with all of your hand traps and Core of Chaos. So all of these can be small world bridges. Any Blackwing and Nocto Vision can be a small world bridge because he's a dark, and none of the Blackwings are level 7, 0 attack, or 2800 defense, or dragons. So yeah, you can just go banish Avada, banish this out of deck, search Simoon, activate Simoon effect, or whatever your hand needs. So having good bridges for small world is pretty helpful. If you sometimes you can banish the Samorg if you really have to, in order to banish Nocto and search you a Blackwing. So there's a lot of different things you can do with this. And that's it for the monsters. Moving on to the spells. Get my field center out of there. Moving on to the spells. It's pretty standard for the way I play this deck. 2 whirlwinds. You don't really need 3. I might bump it back up, but trying to keep the deck around 40. This was 42, I believe. And it's still, I still was fine with that, because honestly, when you have multiples of it, you start running out of search targets. So like, there's only so many things you can search and still use that turn. So I'm the second normal summon of Sudri, because you normal summon him twice in the full combo. You don't really have much else to search that you can actually use this turn. You can search Vada, but his special summon from hand and his effect are both once per turn, so you're really just searching follow-up. And same thing with the Oster, the Shamal. So the things that you normally want to search are hard once per turns, so you're really only searching follow-up, so there's not really much reason to play 3 of these other than just really wanting to get it. But I'd rather prioritize getting Simoon, because that's actually the full combo, including the Whirlwind, than actually just seeing the Whirlwind. If Whirlwind and Black Feather Whirlwind did something on activation, like search the Blackwing on activation, then of course 3-0s, but they do not, so. And also, you don't want to clog up your zones. I think I explained that in the previous video, but If you have Whirlwind, Black Feather Whirlwind, you need a space to play the rank up spell. You need a space to play your Twin Shadow. If you have 2 Feather Whirlwinds on field, 1 Whirlwind that's not going to die till end phase because of Simoon, so it's just going to be in your way if you start clogging up your zones. And you don't want to have 3 Whirlwinds on field and only 2 Spell and Trap zones to work with. So then we also play 2 Small Worlds. I think 3 is fine. This might go back up to 3 just because Droll has fallen out of the format a little bit, because let's be real, if you Small World into your starter and they Droll you, then you still just skipped your turn and just gotta hope you survive till next turn anyway. So we also played the 2 Dark Rulers just for in case we go second. And the rank up Magic Force. Since we're not playing the Kali Yuga build, we play the Magic Force because we go into what's his name? Raid Raptor Assault or Ultimate Falcon. We also play some traps. We actually play 5 of them, which is unusual. Play the 1 Twin Shadow, 2 Imperms. That's probably getting bumped up to 3 once I change some ratios around, and then 2 Goes in Match in the main. Having it in the main was like just an extra insurance policy. So sometimes I bricked, but I opened Goes in Match, and Goes in Match ended my opponent's turn. So like against Mathmech, I bricked, but I had Goes in Match, and I normal summoned Sudri. They impermed it, so I set Goes in Match, pass turn. They normal summon Circular. I flip Goes in Match. They pass turn, and then I get to actually try again. So it's pretty helpful to have Goes in Match in the main. But if I do move it to the side, it'll be to make room for like the 3rd Impermanence and maybe the 3rd Small World. But we'll see how that goes. The next build I'm gonna work on is either the Chaos version that I was just talking about, or the Dimension Shifter version that I had been requested for in the comments of the previous video. So whichever one of those 2 y'all want, let me know. I'm definitely working on the D-Shifter one since it's actually been asked for. But if you're interested in seeing a Chaos version of Blackwings utilizing the Chaos Shell, maybe some more light hand traps like Valor, probably focus a little more on synchros. Speaking of which, there's also the Chaos Beast that was pretty helpful. Side deck. The extra deck, we'll explain a little more of the Chaos stuff. We play a Chaos Beast. This was very niche. It takes a light tuner and a non-tuner dark monster, so Core of Chaos and a level 4 Blackwing. And then if any cards have been banished this turn, before or after he hits field, he gains 1,000 attack, so he'll be 3k. And that attack gain is as he hits the field, so it will be taken into account when Black Feather Whirlwind goes to revive a Blackwing monster. So that's very helpful. So you're doing a Synchro 6 for a Synchro 6 for a 3k monster. That's pretty good. It's Synchro 6 3k monster brings back pretty much anything in the deck except for the like really high ones, but most of the deck is below 3k. So that's very helpful. It's also a dark, so Simoon's restriction doesn't matter. Also, it has the ability of once per turn you can target a banished light or dark monster and add it to your hand. And during your main phase, except the turn this card was sent to the graveyard, you can banish a light and a dark monster from your hand and or graveyard to special summon this card from your graveyard. If you special summon him back from the grave using that ability, so banish Core of Chaos and a Blackwing, you actually get to summon him, add Core of Chaos back to your hand, and he has 3k attack because something got banished this turn. So yeah, he's pretty versatile. He's just a common out of what was that? PHHY, it was Photon Hyperdrive or whatever that set 2 sets ago was. Yeah, so fourth, or Chaos Beast is pretty good. Of course, the Nathung, the Starlight, Boreas Storm, Boral Savage, the Blackwing Dragon. I'm probably going to boost this up to 2, play my Ghost and my Starlight. That would be nice. But yeah, I've got some plans for this at 2 and Assault Dragon at 2. So in the previous one, I played the Blackbird Close that I took out for this one. And what I'm noticing is that because Blackbird Close can be activated from hand and Blackwing Twin Shadow can be activated from hand, that's 2 traps, one of which is a counter trap. So that comes up. But that they special summon a monster. So the Twin Shadow will synchro summon the Blackwing, the Blackbird Close will tribute a Blackwing Dragon, or tribute a Blackwing Dragon or Blackwing monster. Negate and destroy one of your opponent's monsters on field when it tried to activate its effect, and then it special summons Blackwing Dragon from deck or from your extra deck. So if I already have a Blackwing Dragon in grave, and most people only play 1, then I don't get that free summon. But for the same reason, Twin Shadow is very good at triggering the Black Feather Whirlwind. Blackbird Close can do the same thing, and by having 1 Blackwing Dragon on field, you can activate Blackbird Close from your hand, negate and destroy your opponent's monster by tributing the Blackwing Dragon, and then just summon another Blackwing Dragon, and that's going to trigger the Black Feather Whirlwind to either bring back the Vata, or not the Vata, well, you could bring back Vata. I usually bring back Chinook in order to have my negation or interruption set up another interruption. So like when you go Twin Shadow, Silver Wind, pop 2 cards, and I get Chinook back, so I have the pop 2 and it sets up another negation. Or the Blackbird Close, negate and destroy, summon Blackwing Dragon from my extra deck, and bring back Chinook. So my negations and interruptions, setting up another interruption, that was very helpful during this tournament. The Silver Wind popping 2 and bringing back a monster effect negator was very helpful. So I'm probably going to play the Twin Shadow and Blackbird Close, 2 Blackwing Dragons in order to have the extra one to summon off of the Blackbird Close. And also sometimes you just need to use Vata again to try to rebuild after they tried to break your board. And then so I'll have 2 of that, and then Silver Wind for the popping 2 on its summon, Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss for the negations, making him as an Omni Negate, and being able to negate Dark Ruler, because they Dark Ruler, you chain Twin Shadow, then you chain the Abyss to target the face up Dark Ruler and negate it. So playing around that is very good. The Full Armor Master, the Assault Dragon that I'm trying to find ways to boost up to 2. I didn't make Savage as often as you'd think I would, mostly just because I didn't need it. There's like, if I was already setting up going into Ultimate Falcon, who's going to be immune to pretty much everything, if I'm using because I want to get the Blackwing Dragon engraved, so by getting Hot Red onto the field using the Blackwing Dragon, by using the Hot Red and by using the Blackwing Dragon to make the Hot Red, it was pretty helpful. So we made that a lot. I think the Hot Red was better than the Boral Savage most of the time, but sometimes you can do both. But honestly, when they see the Hot Red, the Full Armor, the Assault Dragon, and the Ultimate Falcon, a lot of times they scoop. Especially if you interrupt their combo with the Twin Shadow, dropping the Silver Wind to pop 2 of their monsters mid-combo and just wreck the whole combo. Dissipator, It's very helpful. You use the blackwing dragon to make it. Another reason I want to play it at 2, because there's actually times where you need that specifically in your deck in order to go into things. Like Hot Red needs a dragon synchro. Dissipator needs a non-tuner dragon monster. So playing 2 blackwing dragons is not a bad idea. And then of course Chaos Angel. Chaos Angel's pretty clutch, especially when he has both effects. So just darks is fine because none of your monsters can die by battle, including this 3500 beat stick, but it can still be destroyed by card effects. And sometimes that's a problem, especially when, like with Labyrinth, and the field spell gives their traps the ability to pop a card. That can be a problem. But also having the Chaos Angel have the light effect, where my synchros are unaffected by monster effect negation or monster activated effects, it's pretty helpful. So yeah, Chaos Angel is amazing, especially going second because it banishes a card on summon. I actually forgot about that a couple of times. Almost missed the timing for that because I just almost kept playing without actually activating its effect on summon. But yeah, it's a great card. It's a level 10, so it's easy to make with this deck. And then the Core of Chaos makes it even easier. Then we play the Force Strix and the Ultimate Falcon. I actually took out the Arsenal Falcon, mostly just to make more space. But the Arsenal Falcon is good, especially if they're activating something that will destroy cards on the field. Then you just rank up into and sometimes you don't have 6 darks in the grave, and that's the problem sometimes. But by going through the full combo, I actually realized I had exactly 6 darks in the grave doing the full combo. Well, technically I had 8, but you don't want to use the rank up spell to banish the Boreas Storm and the Blackwing Dragon. So besides those 2, so I could banish them for Assault Dragon, I had 6 in grave in order to turn the Force Strix into an Ultimate Falcon. But sometimes you just want to banish 3 and turn Force Strix into Arsenal Falcon, because when Arsenal Falcon goes to the graveyard with Force Strix as material, he's going to bring himself back and turn into Ultimate Falcon anyway. So there's multiple ways to do it, but this is what I went with for that tournament. And then, of course, the one Rusty to get the Wise Strix off the field, and that was pretty helpful. I mean, Rusty also is going to be an interruption when you rank up into Ultimate Falcon, trigger Rusty to pop a card. You can't do that with the Kali Yuga build because Kali Yuga will negate your Rusty. But, yeah. So Wise Strix, getting you the extra body on board and the rank up spell after Force Strix activates its effect, and then going into Rusty, having that additional pop a card. So you'll have Twin Shadow, make Silver Wind, pop 2 cards, rank up spell, make Ultimate Falcon, Rusty, pop another card. Yeah, because Silverwind pops 2 monsters, but there's 2 monsters with less attack than his, or less defense than his attack, which is 2,800. And that's most monsters, especially nowadays. Like, most monsters your opponent's gonna summon have less than 2,800 defense. Like, they get 2 Kashtiras on board, you Twin Shadow, you make Silverwind, you pop both of those Kashtira monsters. You pop a Unicorn and a Fenrir, and they're pretty much gonna have to scoop after that. Yeah, but that's it for the main deck. If y'all want, I will go ahead and make a combo tutorial showing you what this deck does if you open some Moon and a Blackwing, and that's all you need. The side deck, I played 5 extra deck monsters in the side. It confused my opponents when they see me side deck into the extra deck, because now they're thinking I'm changing decks entirely, but really I'm putting in OTK monsters, Ark Rebellion and the Raiders Knight, in order to OTK them. Putting in Muddy Mud Dragon and Dragoons in order to take out some of my more going second card. So like I would take out the Chaos Beast and take out the maybe the Dissipator, but Dissipator's negation or pop is also helpful. Sometimes I take out the Savage Dragon just because Dragoons would be better than Savage in that situation. But really it just depended on what I was going against. Like if I know Dragoons being such a hard thing to beat would be better, then maybe I'd use that instead. Like against Sky Striker, you'd definitely rather have Dragoons than just the one Boral Savage. And then we play Shidori because easy OTKs and getting over those really big monsters. It has 300 extra attack for every Blackwing in your graveyard, including the 2 used to make him, so he's baseline 3200. And that, again, takes effect as the Black Feather Whirlwind goes to check for attack points to bring something back. So if you summon him with 3200 or with 3500 attack points, you can bring back pretty much anything. You can bring back the full armor, the full armor master by summoning him because he'll be 32. Bring back the 3K. Then we also played the 2 kaijus. If I knew I was going second, I would take out the Nocto Vision and something else in order to have this as the small world bridge. We played the 2 Sword Soul Punishment still. If you don't know what this does, it's if you control a synchro monster, target a card on the field or in either player's graveyard, banish it. If your opponent controls a Ritual, Fusion, Synchro, Xyz, or Link monster, you can banish 1 Synchro monster from your graveyard, add this card from your graveyard to your hand. You can use both of those effects in the same turn, but you can only use each effect once per turn. So you can play it, kill something, they try to rebuild, banish something out the grave, Sword Soul Punishment comes back to your hand, play it again, especially since you don't care about banishing your synchro monsters out the grave because Black Feather Whirlwind's going to bring back your Blackwing synchros anyway if you need them. So it's pretty helpful. And then we played 2 Cosmic Cyclones. Labyrinth is getting up there, so having Sword Soul Punishment and Cyclone capable of removing back row field spells, whatever. Deck Lockdown snatched a couple of games. It was very, very good, making full combo, and they're like, okay, I'll be able to play through that. And then you drop Deck Lockdown, they're like, yeah, no, there's no way, even if I clear the negations, you can't add. You Deck Lockdown and have a way to negate Fenrir, then Cashtira loses because they have nothing else they can do there. Evenly matched was it's evenly matched. I played 2 of them. You can play 3, but having 2 in your hand is literally only good when your opponent has a negation. So you go evenly, and they negate it, and then you respond with and then you let it resolve, and then still at the end of main you go, or still at the end of battle you evenly again. That's really niche situation that most people don't end up in that situation or even have 2 evenlies in their hand. I'm entirely okay with having evenly and something else useful. So playing 2 evenlies, 2 lockdowns, 2 cyclones, 2 punishments, 2 radians was pretty good for making sure I just have a wide variety of ways to beat my opponent, because you don't want to open multiples, especially for the hard once per turn things. Raiders Knight and the Ark Rebellion, the Muddy Mud Dragon, the Dragoons, and the Shidori, those were all just very helpful in specific situations that I knew I was going to be in because they help cover the weak points of the deck. So yeah, that was pretty helpful. Sometimes you just need extra negations and firepower on board, or need extra ways to kill. But I have so many things that I'm planning on testing out, so y'all stay tuned, like, comment, and subscribe, and I will be working on a lot of things. Two of the things that I am going to be testing are going to be these two guys, the new cards. Odd Eyes Rebellion Xyz Dragon. As soon as I saw he was an Xyz Dragon, he immediately became relevant because that rank up spell I'm playing can only go into Raid Raptors, PKs, or Xyz Dragons. So that might actually be pretty helpful. It's also a 7. So banish 3, make him, and what he does is, if you could Pendulum 7, which doesn't matter, the only part of his effect that's relevant is this card can't be used as Xyz material on the turn it's summoned. You can detach 1 material from this card, target up to 2 monsters your opponent controls with 3,000 or less attack, destroy them. That's pretty good, especially when you rank up Y-Strix into him, and Y-Strix has a material already, so you make him with 2 materials, Y-Strix and its material. And then you can banish a material, pop 2 monsters with 3k or less. That's pretty good. And then the Dark Magician, the Knight of Dragonic Magic, or Dragon Magic. It sounds weird to play him. I'm just spitballing ideas, but the same way you make him, it was the same way you make Dragoons. Muddy Mud Dragon becomes Dark Magician, and then you need a level 7 or higher dragon or warrior monster, while Dragoons needs a Red Eyes Black Dragon or Dragon Effect monster. Same thing, you use Muddy Mud Dragon and Blackwing Dragon to make either Dragoons or this Dark Magician, the Knight of Dragon Magic. And what this one does is, if all your monsters get piercing, basically. All your monsters get piercing, and once per turn, when your monster destroys an opponent's monster by battle, inflict damage to your opponent equal to the destroyed monster's original attack. So burn for time, or just burn to finish off the game. And then also, if this card is destroyed, you can special summon Dark Magician and Gaia, but that doesn't matter. So yeah, these are 2 options I'm thinking of testing. I mean, you side these in going second, like, because you see that I like siding in things to help me break boards. If you can full combo and get to the point where you could have made, or you could have ranked up, because the one that Y-Strix sets, when Y-Strix sets that rank up spell, it can be activated this turn. But so then you go into Rebellion, pop 2 cards, or you use these 2, go into this, give everything piercing, run something over, burn them for that extra damage. There's a lot of interesting things, but now I'm rambling. Yeah, like, comment, subscribe, tell me what y'all want to see next. I enjoy trying out these weird extra cards that most people don't play, because I like catching my opponent off guard. If y'all want to see combo tutorials or specific versions of the deck or other decks, I have I've got my Magic Electric Furries right here, Runic Sprite for Hire. Yeah, that one's a fun deck. So yeah, I've got a bunch of different decks I can show you. I'm actually planning, for the people who requested the D-Shifter version, I'm going to do a series called Let's Build, where I'm going to actually go through the deck building process, which might be a long video. This one's already going long, but yeah, I'll actually explain how to make the deck, how to set up the ratios, why you would play less Shamals and Vadas in a D-Shifter build, stuff like that. But yep, let me know what y'all want to see, and I will see y'all later.